Hello, I'm FBX Toycat, and welcome back to the video. So one of my favourite things to talk about when I'm talking about items in Minecraft is the little Easter eggs / secrets about them that really aren't directly useful to their everyday use, but they just make you go, oh yeah, that is kind of cool, or at least that's what they make me do, and I figured since I love talking about these so much, I collect 8 of them together and talk about them all in one video. So that's what I'm doing today, talking about loads of little fun facts about items that you might not have known, Easter eggs / secrets I guess you could call them. Hopefully you do all enjoy this video. If you do like it, like video, let me know because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like the secrets / Easter eggs as much as I do. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with the very first one here. So the first one here is actually to do with, railways in particular, and the fact that they always point towards a particular direction if you put them between 4 sets. So if you don't have a map and you're in the Nether, or you just, there's no sun so you can't get east to west, and you really need to work out which direction you're going because you want to head all the way north or all the way this or that, basically what you can actually do is you can place down, a rail in between 4 other ones, and it will always bend to the south and to the east. So admittedly, you can't work out which way that is if you're in the Nether without sun or anything, but because you can know which way is south and east, if you just know your house is either to the east or to the south, like again, either down there or down there, then basically what you can do is you can run between the two, and you'll eventually find it on your left or your right, assuming, it's not like thousands of blocks away. And this also means you can use it to the reverse. If you know something's to the north or the west, you head the opposite direction and you'll get there eventually, which I think is a really, really cool thing, that rail is a navigator tool, even when you don't have minecarts, and obviously it works when you have minecarts too. And the other thing about it that lots of people have been telling me recently is the fact that if you look at this little bend in the track, it looks suspiciously like an iron pickaxe. Is that intentional, or is it some crazy Illuminati stuff? I can't tell you for sure, but yeah, it's just basically a lot of people saying me, and I figured you might want to know that the bend in the track is actually an iron pickaxe, and I think it's just a funny little coincidence. But if you think it's a grand Minecraft conspiracy, then that's a weird opinion to have. But yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next one here. So yeah, this thing only works between like 4 railways, because if you do it on a corner like this, it's always going to bend like that. But when you have 4 like this, for instance, it'll always bend in the same direction. But yeah, with that said, let's move into the next one here, which is to do with doors. So doors are really cool because they bend and open, backwards and forwards. And they're actually one of the weirder blocks in the game because they kind of are divided into 2 blocks. You can even see where like you're breaking one or you're breaking the other. But the cool thing about them is kind of to do with the way they open and close, because they pivot around this same point. So these pixels right here don't actually change where they are, regardless of how the door is, kind of interestingly. But if you fire an arrow at any of the other of the part of the door, so if you fire it through one of the windows, which you can't actually do, but if you try to do that and then you open the door, the arrows actually get stuck in midair because they're still on the block, or where the block could theoretically exist, but yet they're stuck in midair, which is kind of cool if you ask me. It's a way to kind of give people free arrows or to scare them away. But what you can also do here, and it's kind of a tricky thing to pull off, or a tricky thing to have use out of, I should really say. Also, wait, let's show you can do it on the other side too. So we go like this. Now we've got arrows stuck on both sides. Yeah, but yeah, a fun little fact about this is if you then destroy the door, the arrows will fall, which means if you do this really high up, you could theoretically like kill people automatically because the arrows will, continue to fall and they can hit people like that. So yeah, if you want to freeze arrows in time and maybe kill people, use a wooden door. The third tip here is also to do with the wooden door, but it's to do with the way, it's to do with the iron door and its relation to it, because if you look, the iron door is actually a perfect reskin of the wooden door. It's the exact same texture, it's got the exact same little things here, just, made out of iron instead of out of wood. However, one of the interesting things about it is, although it's a lot fainter, you can see how it, the parts down here that look like that, they're a lot more faint. You can actually see how the handle of the door, which, shouldn't be there because it's an iron door, is still faintly there. It's it seems to be roughly blurred out, but you can see how none of the other boxes have that. But yeah, there's a little bit of like a scarf where the handle would have been, but it's been torn off. So this means what we can actually deduce is that Steve, when he's crafting the iron door, is making a handle, then tearing it off for some bizarre reason, or some other stuff like that. But yeah, the iron door actually has a handle, or the ghost of where a handle once was, and I think that's a little cool fact. Just in case you can't see it, it's like those 4 pixels there. Hopefully you can see that now. But yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next one here, which is to do with the chest. So the chest, most people just think of it as a solid block. When you look at it, it looks just like a solid block, but it actually has a little bit of a gap between it and the the other stuff there. So yeah, why is this too relevant then? You can use this for quite a few different things because again, most people don't expect it to be there. First of all, you can use it to place like secret levers underneath a chest because again, you can actually see down there. So in this case, I think it like lights up a thing behind there. But you can also use it in this particular case where you put it on top of a block, so you can see like that. And even though most people, even though it looks like it's just a block and a block, it's actually a tiny little thing here you can climb on top of. The place where this gets a much cooler, which you might have seen in the previous video, is the fact that if you put that next to something else and then you jump up there, as you can see, you jump up 2 blocks. If you jump against the fence, because you jump onto this, then up there, and then up there, it means what you can actually do is jump 2 blocks basically instantly, which means you can have like a super steep staircase if you do this efficiently. I think it's pretty cool, and if you do too, then you can make a little diagonal thing like that. So, yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next little fun fact here, which is another texture one, and it's to do with the cobblestone and the endstone. So, this blew my mind when I found it out, because cobblestone and endstone are suspiciously similar. If you look at the actual, big things, they've got the exact same, like, holes where something is, but they're, different colors, right? But, if you, go into paint and you invert the colors, which I'll do now, this is what they look like, and isn't that crazy cool? Every other block in Minecraft looks ridiculous when you invert it, but both these blocks are actually, secretly inverted off each other. So, yeah, something fun you might not have known. With that said, let's move on to the next little fun fact, which is another one to do with actual functionality. I guess we're kind of like alternating between like roughly functional versus just cool little texture stuff. But yeah, the next fun one here is to do with TNT, or really any explosion, and the way anvils react to them, because anvils are the most explosive resistant thing in the game, even more resistant to explosions than obsidian is, which means if you want to craft something that doesn't look like it should hold explosions, but actually does, then anvils are the best way to go. So, as you can see, I'm going to light the TNT there. You might expect that a lot of this stuff is going to just go massively wrong, but it doesn't, and it doesn't even hurt me, because there is a solid wall between you and the TNT. So yeah, if you want to scare people and make them think that stuff's going to go wrong, you can do this. So yeah, fun fact, the most safe house, if TNT is your biggest concern, which I don't know what world you live in if it is, but just in case you live in a world of constant explosion, then what you might want to do is make an anvil house, because they do not break for anything besides falling or being, physically hit to death, which I think is a pretty cool fact about them. But with that said, let's move into the next, or the final one here, actually, which is to do... Oh, no, sorry, the next one is actually, it's number 7 here, which is to do with the way the pressure plates are actually, a part of the texture from below them. So, again, a lot of people don't spot this, but if we break the wood from here, because we're going to take that back now, hope that's okay, piece of wood. But yeah, if we take the wood back from here, and place it there, you can actually see how the pressure plates, in both forms, so stone or gold or anything like that, are actually just tiny little cutouts of their, other counterparts. So this is just the 14 by 14 inside of this, although this is a silverfish brick apparently, and this is just the 14 by 14 cutout of this, and then it's 1 pixel thick too, which means that, yeah, these are actually wooden blocks, just so some of the bits stuck now, and yeah, you might have thought they were entirely separate blocks. No, they're just tiny little wooden pressure plates. In case you already knew that, and you're like, aha, I got you here, Toy Cat, I already knew one, then the fun fact you might not have known is even though there's a gap between the pressure plates, you might figure, like with the, the chest, you can use this to go between them if you're really careful. No, it doesn't work that way. The player model is too thick, so you just tread on all of them. Which means also, by the way, you can tread on 4 pressure plates at once if you want to. Maybe that's useful to you, because you can also use arrows to do the same if you're really skilled. But yeah, you can kind of stand on the edge of pressure plates if it's on the edge of a block like this, though, because if you just crouch at the edge, you can do that. So yeah, fun fact you might not have known about pressure plates and the way their edges work. So yeah, the final fun fact here is actually, or final secret Easter egg thing here, is to do with the enchantment table. So most people just assume that, the book just kind of operates by its own rules, but it actually, this is one of the core functionality that Notch spent a lot of effort on. What it actually does is it will always open towards the player, so it spins naturally by itself like that, at a reasonable pace, and then when you go nearby it, regardless of which direction you're in, it will spin towards you and open, which is, kind of signifying it's opening its knowledge to you. The part where this gets really cool, though, is the fact that it will even open to you if you have an invisibility potion on. So, a lot of mobs, for instance, don't, do that sort of thing if you have invisibility, like they're affected by it, but the enchantment table does not care if you have invisibility, it will still spot you just like this. So, this means if you have, like, a big field of enchantment tables, you can kind of use it as, like, an invisibility detector. It's a really, really expensive one, because you need diamonds, obsidian, etc., and a book for each one of these, but if you want to do just a really, really strange little way of detecting, people like this, then all you have to do is have a big field of enchantment table and watch people run through it and do that sort of thing. So, yeah, have you ever wanted to detect invisible people? Are you willing to spend lots of, diamonds and obsidian on enchantment tables? You can do that if you want to. So, yeah, here are 8 little Easter eggs about items that, again, don't necessarily affect your day-to-day life, but that I think, are kind of cool to know about. If you thought at least one of these was cool, I'd appreciate a like on the video. Let me know in the comments down below, which of these that you think is coolest, and if you actually are going to use one of these, because I think that there might be some use maybe from one of them. Other than that, I hope you all did enjoy it. Oh, one more fun thing I should note is that if you're on the edge of a block before a, for a chest like this, you actually can't crouch off the edge. So you might figure it's the edge of a block, I can crouch, but no, actually it will knock you off half the time, which is really, really strange. So, yeah, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Like if you liked it, share if you liked it, subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, where I talk too fast apparently, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage, or twice daily even, on your homepage. But if you liked the video, then I hope you did, because I'll see you all in the next one. That was a bad outro. Goodbye, everyone.